Hey there.
If Paul and I were chicken, this would be the shake and bake episode.
Please explain.
I don't even know. Just,
Shake and bake. I used to like shake and bake.
yeah, no, I haven't had it in a while. Why is there an echo again? Echo.
I don't know.
Yep. Yep.
Here, let me try something. Tell me if it's fixed. Because this has happened elsewhere. Like for a long time, I just kind of do this without headphones. Seems like it works fine. But let's see if this changes anything.
Paul's loading it into the cockpit. Here we can see Top Gun plugging in the oxygen.
Yeah, that's right. If I knew any of the call signs from Top Gun, that would have been a great joke. All right, so...
Echo? I think that might be it. Maybe.
Yeah, I bet it fixed it.
I'm sure the commenters will let us know if it didn't. Because we haven't had any audio issues on this podcast in a while, but...
No, but this might be tying into the Nook thing. Someone had asked me, are you going to write a follow-up or a review on the Nook? And I'm like, there's really not that much to say about it. It just kind of works. But I will say, the past couple of weeks, there's been weird little issues. Like sometimes the screen just stays on. Like I'll go out at night to watch TV, the thing's lighting up the dark in here. Mm-hmm. I've had multiple instances on the couch I kind of sit on when I watch TV is directly across from here. Mm-hmm. And I'm in the room and I'll pause the TV and I'm like, can you hear that sound? Can you hear it? It's like a hissing sound, And then last night I just figured out it's this thing. It's just sitting here, hissing. The fan,
Yeah, better that than, my fridge is making a weird noise, and I'm sure that will end not very
those
expensive.
are usually non-expensive fixes.
Yeah,
so
they're usually pretty cheap. So I'm looking forward to the day that I just go out there and it's just dead.
This is good for the shake and bake theme. Steak-Umms. Steak-Umms are good.
I don't know if I've ever in my entire life had a Steak-Umm.
These razor thin slabs of beef separated by, not wax, but whatever that kind of kitchen paper thing is. And then, you take them out of the freezer. You could probably microwave them. I think we used to throw them on a griddle type thing. American cheese, like you just made like it's a steak and cheese sandwich. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a Steak-Umm.
No, you should have a Steak-Umm. Actually, if you live outside the Philadelphia area, you're pretty much getting a Steak-Umm anytime you order a steak and cheese sandwich. So,
speaking of steak and cheese sandwiches, there's a new but not new MacBook Pro. If you've been holding out for a 13-inch, and the reason why you didn't buy the last one is because there was an escape key. We have good news for you this morning. The escape key is back, but it is not back in black. Well, I guess it is black technically, but.
It also has a scissor switch, so it works.
Yeah.
I was really hoping they were going to go 14-inch on this and bigger screen, smaller bezel, like they did with the 15 when they went to the 16. And I don't know why they didn't do that. It would have further differentiated it from the Air. Mm-hmm. Apple.
Which kind of still makes me think that the reason why they're not doing it is because that Air is going to get an ARM chip, and they just don't care. And that will be the differentiator.
So the first half is probably true. The second half of what you said is absolutely true. They don't care.
No, they don't care. They're going to sell some.
Yeah.
So, speaking of selling some, there's a lot of Surface stuff floating around. So that looks like.
Yeah, I mean, something's happening. It's going through the FCC. There are multiple things that have gone through the FCC. The earbuds have various versions of, not FCC. Actually, FCC in one case, and then I think Energy Star as well. But anyway, the two Surface Book 3 models are lining up as we expected. The Surface Go 2 has that M3 option. Went through that, was an Energy Star thing.
Yeah, if you want to know the specs of them, you can go read a post I wrote on Petri about 2 months ago. So,
yikes!
Just brush that off.
Well, see, I get crap when I talk like that. You can just throw them.
I just plow through it because we don't get many wins on the internet, but when we do,
sure.
So, anyways,
speaking of having wins, my hair.
Yeah, I got nothing. Anyways, it is Monday. It is. I believe Mother Nature said officially we're going to screw Brad this weekend because Saturday, beautiful day, just like perfect. Did a ton of yard work. Yesterday, it rained. No joke. We got 2 inches of rain throughout the day. But 20 minutes north of where I lived, it was sunny, and 20 minutes south of where I was,
I was going to say
it was sunny. It was like a line that just kept forming and just went right over like where we live, just north of the city, and it just rained all day, all day.
So things are going to go south again somehow after the next couple of days. But it was 70 something yesterday. It's going to be 70 today. This is going to be like the third straight day of just beautiful weather.
Yep. And a lot of beer drinking outside this weekend. It was good.
It's a month since I've been able to say that.
Because the difference is drinking beer alone in your basement, slightly alcoholic. Standing at the end of your street or your driveway with the neighbors, not so much. Doesn't matter if it's 4 days in a row.
Yeah. We did like an in-person social distancing thing over the weekend with my brother-in-law. Just sat outside and had separate bowls of snacks and
oh yes,
you know, a little day drinking.
Mm-hmm. Well, a hoopla.
Literally the first time I've seen these people in 7+ weeks. Like yeah. It was good.
Yeah, so that went on. Microsoft started, I don't even know if we talked about detailing build, but it's going to be less newsy, more buildy, and it's all going to be online. It's going to be free. It's going to be...
This may not be coincidental because God knows how YouTube's recommendation algorithms work, but, well, it's an interesting fact. I mean, I was on YouTube and a video clip came up and I saw it and I looked at the length and I actually Skyped Mary Jo and I was like, a random reminder that last year's Build keynote, Vision keynote, was 90 minutes long. And give Satya Nadella Vision keynote. And that's what they're not doing this year, that kind of thing. And you know what? God bless, because
it's not needed.
Yeah. And I've always said, I've long said, I should say, Build is my favorite Microsoft show. It's developer focused, but they've used it historically to make, announcements about whatever. And they're not going to do that kind of stuff. They're not going to focus on the future. It's going to be developer focused only. And it will be more pragmatic. You are a developer today. What do you want to know about whatever the topic is, that kind of thing. And I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's real easy to cut out the future part when there
is no future.
What are they going to, they're not going to go out there and talk about UWP.
Well, okay, but I mean, because I think I can write about this stuff a lot, and people have questions about it a lot, and I do too. I mean, I think there is a story to tell about the near future,
sure,
which is WinUI, and how you can use that across the existing frameworks that they already have, which is UWP, but also WinForms and WPF and whatever else. And honestly, I mean, we can make arguments like this is the story, this is what it should have been, back in 2015 or whatever, and that's fair, but they are working on that now, and WinUI is happening this year. WinUI already exists, but WinUI 3, which is the version where I think this starts to make sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that that's something I want to know about.
Sure.
I mean, so.
Yeah, I bet we actually hear also too, finally, about remember the fluid framework that they talked about, that just they made this huge splash about how awesome it was going to be. Then we kind of heard nothing, and then I can't take full credit for this, but somebody actually who listens to this podcast sent me a tip and said, hey, look, here's like this little preview of it, and the preview is garbage. Like you can do like two things and nothing. And so I wrote about it, and then Microsoft shoveled out this little terrible blog post like, oh yeah, we've got a little preview out there. But I think we're going to see a lot more.
Was this the end of last year, roughly? That sounds familiar.
Yeah, they announced it at Ignite, I believe.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And then nothing happened with it. At least I shouldn't say nothing publicly happened. I'm sure they're working on it in the back end. So I bet we hear about that, because that's very API-ish driven and a lot of back end stuff, and it requires developer input too. So
yeah, I realize, even as I was talking about the WinUI stuff, it kind of occurred to me. I mean, in the scope of things and things being like developer topics from Microsoft, I mean, client side development is kind of a minor concern overall, right? I mean, and we know we've complained about this the last couple of builds. Hasn't been a lot of Windows news or Windows mentions or anything like that, but the Fluid framework, technically is part of that client story, and not just on Windows, of course, but elsewhere as well. But I guess there's a bigger world out there too. So we'll see. I mean, I can't help myself. All I care about is all I care about is Windows, really. But I mean, we'll call it the client. I don't know. What are we calling them now? Edge, the edge, the edge, yeah, the intelligent edge.
Literally edge, not big E edge.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of which, by the way, just randomly, I spent my entire weekend when I wasn't outside updating the book, and I rewrote the Edge chapter for the new version of Edge. And, obviously, this book assumes you know how to use a web browser, right? I'm not going to talk about opening tabs and stuff like that, but you kind of look at like the stuff that's new, and Edge is so much like Chrome. There's not a lot of new, right? So there's stuff like collections, which needs to be covered. But as far as like unique Edge features now, there really aren't many. And when you compare it to the previous version of Edge, which apparently nobody uses this stuff, but there were actually a lot of features that are now missing, right? So, what do you call it? EPUB capabilities. There are PDF capabilities, but they're significantly
not
down.
As good, yeah.
No, you don't have table contents or anything like that. It's kind of bizarre. The tab management features are gone. The Cortana integration is gone. Remember, we could look at restaurants, and they had all this stuff built into it. There's still some read aloud stuff, but it's not everywhere. And what was the other? There was another major thing. But anyway, the original Edge chapter was like 10,000 words. It was really big. It might have been the biggest chapter, or one of the biggest chapters. And the one that I just completed, I haven't done the screenshots. I'll do that today. Is like 7,200 words. Like that's the difference. Not that the new Edge is less capable overall. It's just that there are far fewer features that are like super unique to Edge. Like the previous version, whatever its faults or pros, cons, whatever, had a lot of just kind of new, like the other one was being able to mark up a web page with a pen. You could put the toolbar would come across with the colors and the pen tips and everything. You could draw pictures on it and stuff. That doesn't exist. So anyway, it's kind of an interesting aside. Like, we've lost a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure if anyone would even notice, because most people probably never used it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll have that chapter out today. If you have the book, it's probably be an update today.
Great.
Yeah.
I have no commentary other than whatever I've been using. I use the Edge every day now. I use the Edge. That's big E, Edge.
I'm pretty sure I've been using the new Edge for about a year now. Maybe longer.
Has it been out that long?
I feel so. I feel like it. I feel like I don't remember, but I mean, I think the first, whatever Canary versions probably were very early last year.
I thought it was like end of last year for some reason.
No, I think it was pretty early. But, I mean,
was.
obviously they went, dev and beta, whatever the channels are over time.
Yeah,
Stable,
actually, that might be right.
Yeah, like Stable didn't come out till this January, but
right. They all just kind of mushed together, like.
Yeah, although I still have a weird mix of these things on my computers, and so like when I go upstairs and I use a different, like a laptop, it's on beta, and there are features in there that aren't, like I got prompted to sync extensions the other day, and I was like, oh, cool, but it's not on the one, like on this computer I have Stable, so it's different, a little different everywhere. It's fine.
Yeah. You could probably just put all the days into a bag, and then put like some meat substance in the middle, shake them up, pull them out, and have it for dinner.
Yeah, that meat substance should be a Steak-umm. It's good food. That's all I'm saying.